Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Jack Lane. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about James Bond, as the new James Bond film gets a release date after being fast-tracked by Amazon. It's not a release date, it's a release year, may I add. The article is a little bit clickbaity, but all is good. This comes from The Independent. This is all sort of speculation and rumour, admittedly, but I think it's truthful. The movie is being fast-tracked by Amazon. I mean, we all saw this coming. Production on the next James Bond film is underway after being fast-tracked for release following Amazon's $1 billion acquisition. Last month, it was revealed that Amazon MGM had taken full creative control of the Bond franchise after striking a deal with longtime producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. While the pair will remain co-owners of the franchise, the transition leaves creative control of all future productions in the hands of Amazon, a decision that has led to consternation among fans. It's now been reported that the next Bond 26 will have a budget of $250 million, which is around the same cost that amount for Daniel Craig's final outing of 007. Again, big budgets. I mean, we all know how I feel about them. According to The Sun, the film was expected to be in cinemas by the end of 2027, with a source stating the Bond bosses had already proposed broad plots and reboot ideas. The writers' rooms are being assembled in the hope of recouping their investment as soon as possible. Bond films are typically released in the October or November. The hunt for a new Bond to replace Craig has heated up in recent weeks, with rumours including Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Harris Dickens and James Norton. In terms of director, Puck reports that producers David Heyman, who did Harry Potter, and Amy Pascal, who did the Tom Holland Spider-Man films, are in talks to develop the outing. In March 2024, it was reported that Taylor-Johnson had secured the role of Bond, but the actor distanced himself from the claims, stating, "I don't feel like I need to have a future drawn out for me. I feel like whatever's drawn out for me, I can do better." Amazon's acquisition of Bond franchise is expected to lead to a series of spin-offs, but the source states the streaming giant knows fans want and expect a movie, and wants filming to be done by the end of next year. When the film arrives, it will match the record for the longest time the world has had to wait for a new Bond film since Sean Connery first played the British spy in 1962's Dr. No. The previous record was GoldenEye, which arrived in 1995, 6 years after Timothy Dalton appeared in Licence to Kill. When said in a statement, "With my 007 career spanning nearly 60 incredible years, I'm stepping back from producing the James Bond films to focus on art and charitable projects. Therefore, Barbara and I agree it's time for our trusted partner, Amazon MGM, to lead James Bond into the future." Broccoli added, "My life has been dedicated to maintaining and building upon the extraordinary legacy that was handed to Michael and me by our father producer, Cubby Broccoli. I have had the honour of working closely with 4 of the tremendously talented actors who have played 007 and thousands of wonderful artists within the industry. With the conclusion of No Time to Die and Michael retiring from the films, I feel it's time to focus on my other projects." That's, of course, their statement. I'm not surprised that we are getting a new Bond film in 2027. I mean, Amazon want their return on investment pretty quickly, and to do that, I reckon they're going to offshoot 2 films back to back. I reckon the writers' rooms, they're going to have different writers' rooms being like, right, you create a movie, and then we'll find a way to tie them in together. They're not going to be doing any spin-offs or anything like that until they've got a movie out. There's no point. With filming expected to start and be done by next year, are we looking at a scenario where we find out who the next Bond is in the next couple of months? Yes. Is this all rumour and speculation? Yes. But there's a lot of truth behind it. I mean, if you're a Bond fan, right, you know that this deal cost them £1 billion on top of what they paid for MGM, right? So they now want to basically recoup all that money. What's the best way of doing that? You release a Bond film. And you release multiple Bond films. I think we'll see a Bond film every 2 years. They will hire an actor and it will be, you play Bond every 2 years for 5 films. So we have you for 10 years in a contract. You join at 39, you'll be out at 49. You join at 31, same principle goes. There won't be these long delays, like long gaps between films like Craig had, because they don't need to. Amazon can go, well, you are not doing a film this year. Well, we're going to drop you and we're going to hire someone else. Craig had the luxury of being, and maybe it will happen for the next Bond, but Craig had this luxury of when he turned around and said to them, I need time out, they gave him the time out. I don't think Amazon will do that. I mean, just look at what Amazon is. It's a global giant, thrives to make more content for Prime. It just thrives and thrives on it. Now, with Bond, there's been a lot of speculation that Pierce Brosnan could come back for a one-off movie. I wouldn't mind seeing that. You could easily do that movie, and then still have your Bond canon. Will they do it? Probably not. But there has been them talks. Bond in 2027. Do you think it's true? Do you think it's going to happen? Because honestly, I think Bond will release end of October, beginning of November in 2027. The only time Bond wasn't supposed to release at the end of a year was in 2020 when it was releasing in March, April time. And then, of course, we had COVID. So then it ended up releasing in September, October time. So I think the future is bright for Bond. I think, Amazon know what they're doing. They're not idiots. And the new film being fast-tracked, Amazon already have a script. They already know who they want to direct. They already have their movie written. They had this written a while ago. I'd say they came up with an idea. The Broccolis came up with an idea. They wanted their idea done, so they executed a script for it. And they said, write a script. And whoever the writer is of this movie, I reckon they wrote this script back when all the issues were going on. And the writers' rooms that are going on now are to either polish up or maybe change some things, realign some stuff. But I think, that's good news. A new Bond film will start filming probably end of this year or beginning of next year. And then we'll, of course, get the return of Bond in 2027. So which means we get a Bond film in 2029, 2031, which sort of tracks with what I was thinking. I was thinking 26 for a Bond film. Because, if they... After No Time to Die, realistically, they should have had the next Bond picked out, the next director, and the next script worked on. Just because that movie took 2 years to release from its original schedule. That movie was supposed to release in 2019 November. Then it was delayed because other things, that fifth Craig film was supposed to release in 2019. In November of 2019. Got pushed to 2020. There was, I think, 6 months there. Then you had a year and 6 months. Then you had a year. And then you had another 3 months, 4 months onto that. I think it was about a year and 9 months in the end between when they finished the film they could have been and should have been working on the next Bond film. Who the director's going to be, I would personally want them to bring in, someone who's done a film before. Martin Campbell's my pick for this reboot. Just let him cook the first film up, let him do the first film, and then you can give it to different directors to do things with. Given the fact that Moneypenny's already been cast, I think Bond's already been cast, but they are just waiting to announce. With a $250 million budget, I'm not surprised at that. No Time to Die's budget was that, and look how phenomenal that film was. But Amazon, I think, is the only studio with Bond that can do this high-budget film. Because I think it's trial and error at the moment. I think they've looked at how wellly received that movie was, and I think they're doing it for cinematic universe purposes, not just... But you may go, but you hate high budgets. That movie has to secure $500 million to break even. This movie realistically could make 800 to 900 million. It won't beat Skyfall, unless, actually it might, because if you put a creative director, if you put a big American director attached to Bond, like a name that's in America, and you pitch it as, it's a James Bond film to British people, but worldwide it's a Christopher Nolan movie, do it like that. You know, people who like Bond will go, oh, okay, oh, it's a Chris Nolan film, oh, this is great. You know, no one ever said the Dark Knight trilogy was, you know, the Christopher Nolan films, but they're still Batman. People still, you know, other people went on to work on them like years later, and they still had this global success with Batman. Christopher Nolan doesn't define the Bond character after he's done with it. But I would like Martin Campbell back for the one. Just come back, do the one movie, and then hand it off to other people. That's what I want. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think we're going to get any 007 news this year about who the next Bond is, who's directing the next Bond, what the movie's premise is kind of going to be about? Of course, more will be probably revealed next year when they start filming and you get the set photos, to which I'll be covering all here. So if you guys like James Bond and you are, like me, skeptical, but excited for the future of James Bond, then subscribe to the channel. This is the place to be when it comes to James Bond movie news. I'm a massive Bond fan, seen all the films multiple times, love watching them, they're great movies. And maybe I'll do my favourite Bond one day. Of course, my Bond is Daniel Craig, it's my age group, but I may do a ranking of all 25 films now that we know the Broccolis are now done with the movies. Michael G. Wilson and, of course, the Broccoli family's completed their Bond saga. Maybe we'll discuss rankings in a video soon. I don't know. If that's what you guys want, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on today's video, and I'll see you on the next one. As always, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and stay cinematic. Catch you later, guys. Goodbye for now.